All right. So I'd like to start in a standing position tonight in Samasthiti. So standing with your feet hip distance apart, shoulders relaxed down the back, palms facing forward. Slight engagement of your knees towards your quads. Slight engagement of your belly towards the spine. And lengthening out the back of the neck. Just closing down the eyes. Maybe just swaying slightly backwards and forwards so you can feel the weight in your feet. I notice that your toes are pointing out to the sides of the mat. Can you face your toes forward so that they're in line with your heels? And then just do a shrug up to the ears and then lower the shoulders down the back. Feeling a slight squeeze of the shoulder blades together. And just gently starting to come into the breath. Arriving on your mat, arriving in your body. Letting anything that's happened today be behind you. And just give yourself the next 30 minutes to be with yourself. Take your gaze internally to find a space of stillness within. And try to practice from this place tonight. Gently placing the tip of the tongue behind the front teeth, the top front teeth. Noticing how it immediately relaxes the facial muscles, the neck. Just taking a few more breaths here. Enjoying this grounded pose. Where everything, every bone and muscle and joint is perfectly anatomically stacked. Let's take one more inhale together. Exhaling through the mouth. Blinking open the eyes softly. Inhaling your arms up overhead. Exhale, bending the knees, starting to travel down towards the mat. Fingertips to the mat or to your shins. Letting the head rock. The hips lift up slightly in this forward fold, but keeping the knees bent. Just hanging out here for a breath. And then inhaling to halfway lift, looking forward, fingertips to the mat or hands to your shins. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling to halfway lift, looking forward. Exhaling to fold. Bending the knees, slowly rolling yourself back up to standing shape. Arms up above the head. Palms touch lightly. Exhale, coming back again towards the earth. Planting both hands to the earth. Stepping the right foot back. Stepping the left foot back. Rounding through the upper back. Elbows into the ribs. You can definitely place the knees on the floor if you like. Upward facing dog or cobra pose. Nice. Opening through the heart. Engaging those shoulders together on your back. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Taking one breath here. Exhaling to release. Little steps forward to the top of the mat. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Sweeping yourself up. Palms touch overhead. Maybe a little back bend here. Exhale, coming all the way down. Hands place down on the mat. Step your left foot back, right foot back. Chaturanga, your variation. Knees on the floor if you like. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. One breath here. Inhaling into the belly. Exhaling to let something go. Reaching the back of your thighs towards the back of the room. Inhale onto the balls of the feet. Stepping forward, little mini steps. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Sweeping up. Maybe a little back bend at the top. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, stepping or floating. If you're floating, you're rounding through the upper back, pushing through the palms. Very light hop to the back of the mat. Elbows into the ribs, shoulders stay above the elbows. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Finding your shape, noticing what you can soften. Can you push yourself out of your hands, moving your hips back, thighs back, lengthening the spine down towards the ground. So you're in an A shape here. A few more breaths. It was a big full moon last night, so if your energy is a little bit frantic today, I think a lot of people have been affected that way. First full moon of winter, apparently. Very energetic. Taking a big inhale here. Exhale to let something go. Inhale, lifting the right leg up, engaging the whole inner seam of the leg, making sure your weight is even through both hands, and then bending the knee and opening the hip, gazing under the left armpit to look at your right heel. Taking a breath here. Inhale, extending the right leg behind you. Curling the knee in towards the chest, shoulders floating above the wrists, and then lightly stepping your right foot forward. Planting the left heel to the mat, toes point out to a 45-degree angle, finding your warrior one. So gently bending into the front knee, finding the outside blade of the back foot. Belly in towards the spine. Arms reach up towards the ceiling. Nice. Let's exhale through to arrowhead. Leaning forward, belly floats above the thigh. Slight squeeze of the shoulder blades together. And then we're going to inhale coming up, blossoming open to our warrior two. So adjusting your back foot as you need, bending into the front leg, reaching the arms away from each other. That looks very nice. Just make sure your right knee isn't falling in towards the midline. Beautiful. Belly into the spine. Gazing over the middle fingers of the right hand. And then reversing your shape. Right arm reaches up and over. Left hand on your left thigh, your sacrum. wherever feels good for you tonight. Inhale, opening back to warrior two. We're going to straighten the front knee without locking it out. Heel toe the back foot in, and then lean over our right leg for triangle pose. So lean as far as you can, keeping your both arms to a T. And then draw the right glutes in towards the left. Then think about bringing the back of your right hand to the inside of your shin or anywhere along the leg or the floor, to the floor, anywhere that enables you to still open your torso so that you're bringing your right ribs through in line with your left. Really nice. One more breath here in triangle pose, Trikonasana. And then bending through the front knee, reversing that shape. Coming back through warrior two, we're going to straighten the right leg again without locking it out. Coming into our triangle lean, but this time we're going to take our right hand to our hip and we're going to bring our left hand either inside the right foot or outside the right foot. You can use a block if you have one. You can have it on the second level. So you can either have it inside the right foot or to the outside of the right foot. You can have it on the lower level as well. So just feel out what's good for you, but make sure it's supported. And then maybe lifting your right arm up for your twisted triangle. Gazing up at the right palm if that feels okay in your body. How's the breath? Where's the placement of the tongue? Let's inhale, looking down towards the earth. Bringing our fingertips on either side of the right foot. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, folding down for our pyramid pose. So if it's better to look halfway, of course do that. You've got the space and you want to do the forward fold in your triangle, not your triangle, your pyramid. Of course, the option's there to do it. Let's bend through the front leg. Inhale, sweeping up to warrior one. Open out to warrior two. Reversing your triangle, your warrior two, sorry. Inhale, coming back to warrior two. And this time we're coming into our side angle. So forearm to the thigh, or bringing your fingertips to the inside or the outside of your right foot. Using the block if you like. But just make sure you've got that opening of your torso to the left side of the room. Really nice. From there, maybe we're going to bring the top arm into a half bind. Taking a moment here. And then deciding whether to stay in your half bind or are you going to place your right arm under your thigh, coming into the full bind. Very nice. If you find the full bind, open your chest again. That's beautiful. See if you can lift your body up just a little bit. Yes, lovely. Take one more breath here. Exhale to release. And then looking down, releasing the bind. Hands to either side of the right foot, onto the ball of the left foot. Right foot steps back. Flattening the hands to the mat. And then let's go through our flow or meet in downward facing dog. So chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. Exhale to let it go. Floating onto the balls of the feet, bending the knees, gazing forward. We're either going to step or float to the top of the mat. So again, remember to push into the palms, landing lightly. If you're floating, inhaling to halfway lift, exhaling to fold. Bending the knees, sweeping the fingertips along the mat, finding your chair pose. Lovely. Hips back, but think about tucking the hips in a little bit. Gazing to your toes. Make sure you can see your big toes. And then inhale. Lifting the arms up, stretching up. Soft neck. And then slowly coming up to standing. Reversing your shape. Maybe a little back bend. Exhaling to mountain pose, Tadasana. Just taking a moment here, noticing the energy in the body. Noticing the breath. Just letting everything settle. Noticing how the one side we've worked on feels differently to the other. Just observing without any judgment at all. Blinking open the eyes. We're going to take a big step back with the right foot, finding warrior one with the left foot forward. Placing the right heel on the ground. Inhaling, warrior one. So belly in, shoulders down. Engage the right glute. Find the outside blade of the right foot, pushing evenly into the left foot, the whole of the left foot. And then leaning forward into our arrowhead pose. Taking a couple of breaths here. I'm just going to turn around so that I'm not having my back to you. Let's inhale back up through our warrior one, opening out to our warrior two. Bending into the left knee, finding the outside blade of the right foot. Look at your kneecap and just make sure it's tracking straight ahead or a little bit to the left. Yeah. Think about dragging the heels energetically together. Think about your torso in the center of your hips. Nice. Reversing the left hand. Reversing the shape. Reverse warrior two. Inhaling back to warrior two. Starting to straighten the front knee without locking it out. You can heel toe the back foot in slightly if you need. Just going to take my block over to the other side. And then we're going to lean over for our triangle. So arms are in a straight line. We're leaning as far past our left foot as we can. And we're pulling the glute, the left glute towards the right thigh. And then decide where your left hand's going to land. Think about placing the back of the hand to your shin or wherever it's going to land along your leg. And then straightening your right arm so that your arms are in a straight line. Belly in towards the spine. Heart is open. Left ribs coming through to the right. Let's bend through the left knee. Inhale, coming back up through warrior two. Flipping the left palm to the ceiling. Reversing the shape. Inhale, coming back to center. So we're going to straighten through the left leg again without locking out the knee. Left hand to your hip. And we're going to come into our reverse triangle or revolved triangle. So placing the block, if you use the block, I think it's always a good idea. Left hand to hip, right hand to the block. And then take revolving to the other side. Then maybe your top arm reaches up. Maybe you gaze at the open palm. Taking a breath here. Letting it go. And then looking forward, bringing both hands down to the mat, fingertips to the mat. Finding your pyramid pose. So inhale to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Keeping the gaze forward or looking or draping yourself down. Either way, left hip swings in. We'll take one more breath here. Exhaling, where can you soften? Bending the left knee, we're going to sweep ourselves back up and open up into our warrior two. Adjust the back foot as you need. Flipping the left hand, reversing the shape. Inhaling back through warrior two. Left forearm to your left thigh. Right arm up. When you're ready, bringing your fingertips up. Well, let's go inside the left foot. Maybe coming into a bind with your top arm. Searching for the elbow, the hip crease, if it's available, but opening that right shoulder up. Very nice. Maybe we're going to come into the full bind. And again, yes, beautiful adjustment. That looks really nice. Pushing evenly through both feet. Feeling the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, the heel of the front foot. And then feeling the outside blade of the back foot. Taking one more breath here. Exhaling to release. Slowly releasing the bind. Placing one hand on either side of your left foot onto the ball of the right. Stepping back, plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Taking a big inhale here. As you exhale, what can you soften here? What can you release? Maybe it's nothing, just exploring. Floating onto the balls of the feet, bending the knees, looking forward, stepping or floating softly to the top of the mat. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to fold. Sweeping the arms up into your chair. Belly in. Hips lower, but tucking under. And then start coming lower and lower and lower. Maybe you're going to come all the way down to the mat without using your hands. Maybe you use your hands. Beautiful. Into Navasana. So let's hold here, engaging the belly to the spine. You can hold the back of your knees if you need. Any variation. Feeling the shakes and the wobbles, but keeping the neck relaxed. Placing the tongue behind your top front teeth if it's wandered off. And then very gently lowering yourself down slowly as you can through half boat, all the way down to the mat. Just taking a rebound breath here, letting everything soften. Feet flopping to the side. Fingers gently curling in. On the next inhale, walking our feet underneath our knees, heels underneath the knees. Feeling for the heels with your middle finger and slowly squeezing the glutes to round yourself up into your bridge pose. If you'd like to do a wheel pose and wheel poses in your practice, of course the invitation's there to do so, but otherwise we're staying in bridge. If you're doing wheel, hands come beside the ears, fingers pointing towards the shoulders, pushing through the hands and the feet, lifting yourself up. Maybe floating the heels off the mat for a breath or two. When you're ready, exhaling yourself down very gently, tucking the head if you're in wheel. Slowly rolling down one vertebra at a time. Knees knocked together. Bringing your hands back down beside you. Taking a breath here. Exhaling to release. Bringing your arms out to a T. Just separating your knees so that they're floating above the feet. Exhaling your knees over to the right. Maybe you're going to gaze over the left arm. Maybe you're going to place the right ankle over the left thigh. And then just letting everything soften. Feeling both shoulders on the mat. One more breath here. Let's uncross the ankle if it's over your knee. Gently bringing both knees back to center. Lifting your hips and placing them back down. And gently opening out to the left. Gazing over the right. So again, any variation here, but if you'd like to place your left ankle on your right knee, take a few breaths here. Noticing what you can soften. Notice the earth below you supporting your body. Inhaling back to center, uncrossing the ankle if it was crossed, lifting the hips, bringing yourself back into center, and then bringing your knees into your chest and just giving them a little squeeze and a little rock side to side. And then as you exhale, gently extending your legs, extending the arms. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, releasing the practice, finding your Shavasana, your resting pose. Softening everything, the jaw, eyes, forehead, neck, feeling your body heavy on the mat, sinking into the earth. Taking your attention to the belly, making sure it's soft. As you start to deepen your breath, maybe tuning into the sounds around you, the sounds in your home, maybe the sounds outside. And then gently bringing your attention back within. Searching for that little area of stillness that we located at the beginning of the practice. It's always there. On the next inhale, starting to move the fingers and the toes. And when you're ready, gently rolling over onto one side. Extending the bottom arm to use as a pillow. And just taking a moment to assess the body. Has anything changed since you first started the practice? And then bringing the attention to the mind space. What, if anything, has changed there? Maybe a bit of stillness, a bit of space. No judgments, just taking note, just observing. Let's slowly bring ourselves up to a seat, keeping the eyes closed if you can. When you're in your comfortable seat, bringing your hands to heart center. Let's inhale, sweeping our arms up overhead, fingertips touch only. Exhaling with open palms down to heart center. Sweeping up again, letting the fingertips float together. Exhaling down to heart center. One more to conclude the practice. Sweeping the arms up and overhead. Fingertips float together. Gently placing the palms together. Exhaling the palms. Thumbs to your third eye. Thumbs to your lips. Thumbs to your heart center. Taking an inhale here. Exhaling, bowing forward with gratitude. Together we say, Namaste.